This man shooed from his sleeping place. Take a look at this.
You're going to have to find someplace else to camp out.
What's that?
This is private property. You have to find someplace else to camp out.
All right. I'll pick up.
Thank you.
No worries.
But it's not actually a homeless man. It's the Republican nominee for governor of the state of California, Neel Kashkari. He spent a week trying to find a job in an effort to disprove the California comeback slogan being pushed by his opponent, the current governor of the state, Jerry Brown.
And Neel Kashkari joins us right now live on the couch. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
What were you trying to do?
Well, look, Jerry Brown calls it the California comeback. He says we're back. All the problems are behind us. But if you look at the data, we're #1 in America, 24% poverty. We are near the bottom for jobs, and we've got some of the worst schools in America. So I don't know where his comeback is. I wanted to see firsthand what it's like for people. So I got in a bus with $40 in my pocket, went to Fresno, a change of clothes and a sleeping bag, and said, I'm going to try to make it. I'm going to try to get by just, washing dishes, doing whatever.
Shouldn't be hard if California's made a comeback.
Shouldn't be hard at all.
The poverty rate in California, 23.8%. That's the nation's highest. But you didn't just want the statistics to prove it. You wanted to get your hands dirty and see for yourself. How did it all work? Tell us about who was videotaping this, and what did you experience from the businesses?
Sure. As soon as I got off the Greyhound bus, I started walking to the first business I could find. Now, I had a hidden camera in my backpack. I did have a videographer with us, but it wouldn't work if I walk into a business with a camera out. And just asking, I say, look, I just got into town. I'm looking for work. Are you hiring? No, we're not hiring. We're all full. Well, do you know if anyone else is hiring? No, we don't know if anyone else is hiring. That sequence was repeated over and over and over again. Now, I had enough money on me, $40 to buy food for the first few days. And I was sleeping on the street, either a park bench or a parking lot or beside a dumpster, hopefully to find a place where it was safe. But then as soon as I ran out of money, searching for a job was no longer my highest priority.
You had to eat.
I had to eat. First priority is finding food. And luckily, very kind-hearted homeless residents in the city said, oh, there's a wonderful homeless shelter called Poverello House. It's not an overnight shelter, but they provide food and services during the day. I ended up going there for my meals, which was wonderful, but now my job search narrowed because I had to be able to walk from that shelter to the prospective job and back by my next meal.
Interesting. I grew up in California when it was affluent, clean, and functioning, and now, of course, it's got more poverty, as we just heard, than any state, and it's dysfunctional. And in that time, it's had more low-wage, low-skilled immigration than any other state. Do you see a connection? I
see a connection, but a much bigger connection is failed government policy out of Sacramento. Every year, Sacramento comes out with hundreds of new rules and regulations. These are like a giant ball of yarn crushing our businesses and driving them out of state.
Sure.
In Fresno, in the Central Valley, there's terrible drought. For years now, we haven't invested in storage to capture the water in the rainy years to feed our farms in the drought years. So I say that Sacramento is in the poverty creation
So you don't think immigration has anything to do with the problems of California?
I think it's a small part. I think it's a small part. A much bigger part, in my mind, is failed policies coming out of Sacramento. I say that our poverty in California is man-made, but that means we have the ability to turn it around with good policies.
Well, how do you think this is going to play out in the election? We asked Governor Brown to come on the program. We haven't heard from him yet, but you can imagine the political spin. This was just a stunt. What are you going to say to that?
Well, look, Jerry Brown doesn't want to debate me. He's afraid to talk about these issues. He's not talking about poverty, not talking about unemployment, not talking about education. So if Jerry Brown refuses to debate, I'm having the debate right now without him. Because we're talking about these issues around the country, and Jerry Brown is hiding under his desk.
Hey, you know what? Your video, your hidden camera video, speaks volumes. We've got one more clip. Now, we should point out, you had another camera person with you, but the camera was concealed. You couldn't see a guy with a handy cam like that. Here, once again, Neel, who's running for governor, simply trying to get a job. No jobs.
Hey, I just got into town, and I'm looking for work. Are you guys hiring, or anybody around here hiring?
No, at this time, we're all filled up.
I'm looking for work. Are you guys hiring here?
Right now it's kind of slow.
It's slow around. Do you know anybody else? I need money soon. Do you know anybody else around here who's hiring?
Not around here.
Not around here?
No.
Well, Governor Jerry Brown is embarrassed because he says there's a comeback, and Exhibit A, ladies and gentlemen, not where you were.
That's exactly right, and we're just going to continue to take the fight to him. I want the country to realize that it's the Republican Party that is fighting for the middle class, fighting for the working poor. Our solutions are not more welfare, they're not more food stamps, they're good jobs. Because in my view, a good job is the single best social program there is in the world, and that's what I'm trying to bring out.
Neel Kashkari, Republican nominee for governor. California.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Good luck.